Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Luuk Swinkels and welcome back to my course How to Compose Classical Music for Dummies. This is lesson 16 and today I would like to talk about rest symbols, tempo, triplets and also about the last two intervals we will learn in this course. But not before we of course revisit last week's topic. Last week was probably a bit of a difficult lesson. We analyzed sheet music using Roman numeral analysis. Without listening to music, we can already guess how it will sound with our knowledge on ear training and on Roman numeral analysis. We also learned some repeat signs. If you have not watched the previous lesson, I would suggest you do, because in the music theory test you can make at the end of this course, there will be a question on analyzing sheet music. Because last week probably was a bit difficult, today will be a really easy, short lesson. So if you are already a musician, you probably know about triplets and about rest symbols. So feel free to skip to the ear training parts. In the description I will put the timestamps on when I'm going to talk about that. So first, rest symbols. We already have learned how long a note is in length, but we also have rests, meaning you're not playing. When we are in a full orchestra, not all instruments are playing together. And here we have the rest symbols. A whole note rest is a stripe. Half note rest is also a stripe, but notice that for 4 beats it is below a line, a half rest is above a line. The quarter rest is kind of a lightning strike. It's a bit weird to explain, but this thing. Then we have the 8th rest and the 16th rest. Note that with 8 and 16 it's almost the same, but we just add one thing, same as with adding a flag. So if you want a 32nd rest, you just add a third thing to it. So remember that it depends on a time signature. When we are in 4/4, a whole note is 4 beats, half note 2 beats, and that's the same for the rests. But when we are in 6/8, now the 8th note is 1 beat. So a quarter rest, 1 beat. If we are in 6/8, will be an 8th note rest, because the 8th in 6/8 will be 1 beat. So it depends on time signature, but it is actually the exact same on how to read notes. And yeah, here is that difference. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we are in 4/4. Now we are in 6/8, where the 8th note is 1 beat. So the quarter note right now is 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats. Depends on time signature. Now we go over to triplets. And a triplet is when we have 3 notes in 1 or 2 beats. So best way to explain it is to just let's listen to this, so you will hear it, because hearing things normally works better than explaining. One, 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. 3 notes in 1 beat. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da da dun. And here we have 3 notes in the length of 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 bum. They are the same in length. So you will see that they are grouped together by a tree. The tree meaning triplets. And they are 8 notes, meaning that they are in the length of a quarter note. Here they are in a half a note. And I have quickly composed this example to let you hear how we can use triplets in our compositions. And that sounds like so. It sounds really moving. So we have 3 notes in 1 or 2 beats, or in 3 beats, 4 beats, 5 beats, however much you want to. When we have 3 notes in 1 beat, you will use an 8th note. The 8th note is just half the length of the notes of how long they sound. So we will listen to it again, so you can just listen to it. It's a bit really difficult to explain. Explaining triplets to me is a bit like explaining why I'm sitting on a chair. I don't really know why it's called a chair, it just is. I'm just sitting in front of a desk. It just is. It's really difficult. This is literally the only thing I'm not able to explain in a proper way. So I composed this piece, so hopefully you get an idea of how it sounds and how it feels. It's just a rhythmic pattern. 1, 2, ba-da-da-dum. Three notes in a given amount of beats, but they all have the same length. But we are not really able, but we don't have a note that says a third of a beat, so that's where we use triplets for. And the last thing is about tempo, because that's really important. Tempo, we have a lot of words for tempo. You have a lot of Italian stuff like moderato, largo, adagio. I'm not going to talk about that because that's not really beginner stuff. But the most easy way of notating tempo is, as you can see right here, quarter note equals 140. So what does this mean? This means we have 140 beats per minute, and the quarter note is 1 beat. So 60 beats a minute will be 1 second, 120 will be half a second, so this is about a bit faster than 2 beats a second. And it's just how we can notate the tempo, because it is a difference when we are in a kind of a romantic waltz. We want to have a really chill tempo, but if we are writing a march or something really angry for some action movie, we want to have a fast rhythm. So 30 will be really slow, 200 will be really, really fast. We can also change the tempo within a piece. For instance, with ritenuto and ritardando, which means getting slower. Accelerando, meaning faster, same as when a car accelerates. It's the same as the English word. It's getting faster. And a tempo means back to the original tempo. So when you see in a piece ritenuto to a tempo, it just means you get a bit slower at the end of the sentence and then go back to that original tempo. And that's how we can notate stuff. Ritenuto, ritardando, getting slower, accelerando, getting faster, and a tempo back to original tempo. And these are how you can write them in a shorter way. Written or writ and ACC. So let's do an exercise. I have here a piece which is composed by I'm not able to pronounce that name, but by a composer, and I have 5 questions about this one. I would like for you to pause this video right now and make these questions for yourself. So, do you have an answer? Let's see. So, what is the tempo of this piece? Well, the tempo is right here. Quarter note equals 120, meaning we have 120 beats per minute, which is exactly 1 beat every half a second, but 120 beats per minute is its tempo. 2. How long are the first 2 notes? Well, this is something we have learned in a previous lesson on articulation. This is called, I hope you still remember, it's called a fermata, meaning we can make these notes as long as we want to, or as long as the conductor tells you to do. Number 3. In the second measure, we see a lot of dots. How are these called? What does it mean? Second measure, here, a lot of dots. They are under the notes, meaning it is a staccato, also from our lesson about articulation. And this means we play the notes really short and pointy. What is the tempo in the last few measures? Well, we start with 120, then we get slower with the nitto, but followed by a tempo, meaning the last bars are in the original tempo, meaning still 120 beats per minute. And question 5. In measure 13, we see a quarter note rest. 13, yeah. How many beats is this rest? Well, therefore we need to look at the time signature. We are in 3/4, meaning the quarter note or quarter rest is 1 beat. Quarter rest is 1 beat. These were the answers. Now I would like to listen to this composition because it sounds really nice. You can hear the articulation, the ritenuto, back to a tempo. And also you can hear the contrasts between staccato and then with legato. And the ritenuto, back to the original tempo. Rest. We create a rest. Bum 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 ba 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 bum bum ba da da bum ba 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 bum. It's a rest. My singing skills again, I apologize, but it's rest we create. It's the same as when we speak. If I would speak constantly in a row without taking any breaks the whole course, you would never understand what I mean. Right? We have commas when we talk. We have periods when we talk. We have put rest when we speak. And music is a language itself. It's the same as when we speak. And therefore, rests are really important. So now, ear training. Because this is such a short lesson, we can do ear training as well. We already knew some intervals, but we will add the last 2. And I would like to just revisit all intervals. So an interval is the distance between 2 notes. And the easiest interval is the perfect unison. The distance between the notes is none. You just hear the same note twice. Then we have the major second from C to D, because D is the second note of C major. You can remember it because it's the beginning of Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you, ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, or the beginning of the major scale. Then we got the major third. of all these 4 seasons start with a major third. Ba bum, do re mi, do mi. Then we from C to F is a perfect fourth. It's perfect because it sounds really consonant. 1, the unison is perfect. The 4th and the 5th is also perfect. Perfect 4th and perfect 5th. Ba da da dum, do re mi fa ba bum. And the national anthem of my home country, the Netherlands, starts with a perfect 4th. Or the beginning of Star Wars. Bom, bom, ba bom, bom, ba da da da, bom. I apologize for my singing. But with ear training, if I'm not sure whenever an interval is or a chord or progression, I just sing really quietly because I know my voice sucks, but it helps you to visualize all sentences together, your ears, your mouth. It just works for most people, so no matter how bad your voice is, it works in most cases. Then we add the perfect 5th, C to G, because G is the 5th note of C major, and it also sounds really consonant, which is why we call it a perfect interval. And it sounds like so. Ba da 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 dum, do re mi fa sol, do sol. And Twinkle Twinkle Little Star begins with a perfect 5th. Ba 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 bum. From C to G. Now we have the major 6th from C to A, because A is the 6th note of the C major scale, and it sounds like so. And one of the most famous examples that starts with a major 6th is Nocturne Opus 9 number 2, composed by Chopin, which probably you all know. Bom bom, major 6th. Now the 2 last intervals we do not know. From C to B, 5½ notes. B is the 7th note of C major scale, which is why we call it the major 7th. And it sounds like this. It sounds really unstable because it really wants to resolve from C to another C. That's how I could not really find a song that started with this, but you can hear it is really unstable and really far apart from each other. And it does not sound pleasant whatsoever, which is how we can know it's a major 7th interval. And the last interval is the perfect octave, which is similar to the perfect unison from C to another C, but now a C an octave above, which is a distance of 6 whole notes. Ba bum, ba bum. So now we know all intervals. So we will do a test. Take pen and paper and write the answers down. You can pause the video if you don't have pen and paper already. If you do have them, here will be the first interval. Interval number 1. And you can sing them if you want to, if that helps, or think about all the songs. Number 1 again. and number 1 once more. Here comes number 2. At number 2, a third and final time. Now we go to interval number 3. And interval 3 once again. This is interval 4. And 4 once again. I mean, do we really need to listen to this a third time? I mean, that's just for consistency. And the 5th and final interval. Also really easy. Number 5, one more time. So now, the answers. Number 1 is a perfect octave from a C to another C, or from D to another D. Number 2, ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-bum. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meaning it's a perfect 5th. Number 3. Ba-da-da-da-dum. That's beginning of the major scale, or happy birthday to you. Meaning it is a major 2nd. Number 4. That's just a perfect unison. And number 5. Number 5 sounds far apart from each other. It sounds disgusting. It sounds dissonant. It gets me the chills. It's a major 7th. And here are the answers. Perfect octave, perfect 5th, major 2nd, perfect unison, and major 7th. So this was a short lesson. I mean, maybe with the intervals it was a bit longer. And we talked about rests, tempo, triplets. At the end of this course we are going to compose something. You are going to compose something yourself as well. And maybe, I mean most definitely, you're going to add some of these things yourself. So next lesson will be about notation software. I will do a tutorial on how I work with MuseScore, which is the program I use for all of my compositions and arrangements. So if you have any questions, compose a comment in the comment section below. My name is Luuk Swinkels, and I will hopefully see you in the next lesson on how to compose classical music for dummies.